So what do you do when you find a log in your chip drop? Well, you can cry over spilt milk, or what we're going to do, we're going to make a Hugel mound. We were going to compare Hugel mounds with raised beds. We got that raised bed the other day. I told you we were going to set that up. So today, let's Hugel. I've been building a system to teach people how to grow more food with less effort. I've been documenting it along the way, and we got a whole bunch of episodes that describe exactly what we do here in a deep mixed mulch garden. But today, I thought we would go ahead and start setting up our experiment, the difference between a raised bed, which we built, a little while ago, and a Hugel culture. You know, when the chip drop guy leaves you logs in the chips, what do? Just like when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. We're gonna go ahead and Hugel. But today is Saturday and it's a good day to do this. Now I was actually waiting until we got the sweet potatoes dug, because right here I thought we'd make a really good experiment on that Hugel mound versus a raised bed. This soil is just beautiful. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig down just a little bit. I'm gonna put that raised bed in the ground a few inches. We're gonna try to keep those voles out. I've got several questions about voles management and the sweet potatoes. But this will give us a nice comparison between a commercially bought raised bed and just cleaning up some logs around the place and making a Hugel mound, and seeing if either one of those are any better than our mixed deep mulch. And you've seen the results there. So come along, let's Hugel. And yes, the no dig deep mulch guy has got a shovel out here. We're at a little bit of a slope, so I'm going to take this in down a little deeper, and we're going to go ahead and use this soil, and we're going to put it back in that raised bed. So let me get this dug out. And we might find a sweet potato or two while we're at it. My wife's going to say, how'd you miss those? That is beautiful. Well, let me dig a little easier. I'm going to do the same thing for the Hugel mound. That way we have soil to put on top. I'm going to try to make this as even as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and use a bed here and mark out where both of these are going to be. But today is Saturday, and you know what that means. We go to you and we celebrate what's going on in your garden. Here in northeastern Oklahoma, it is going to freeze. It's forecast to 24 by morning. And I know we got some folks out here that are stripping their gardens. We got other folks that are getting their gardens ready. So while I move this on into the garden, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of our contributors. Art decided it was time to take those bananas in the house. We'll see if they ripen on the counter just like the store-bought. Art, I can't wait to see what you get. Barbie said Minnesota's holding on to the leaves pretty tight. They only got one of the beds covered so far, but they're underway for next year. Barbie, thank you. This is wonderful. Mike and Linda are getting the final harvest of the peanuts and the peppers in, but their fall garden is in full swing. Those greens look just tasty, Mike. Thank you, Linda. Aren't our contributors just absolutely incredible? Hit that thumbs up button. It tells YouTube to push this out to more people that might want to learn how to garden. And I invite you to become a member of this channel. There's no obligation, doesn't cost anything. Send in a photo now and again, let us celebrate what's going on in your garden. After all, this is where we get ideas, it's where we get inspiration, and I get the motivation to come out here and dig in a no-dig garden. Well, this is about as level as I need it to be. I need to open up that Hugel just a little more, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put a layer of fabric cloth down, wire mesh basically. What I did this year, when I laid out the sweet potato patch, we encircled it with dry castor oil, let that soak into the ground. And everywhere we had that, the voles stayed out. We did have damage around the outside because those vines run, and everywhere they touch, they root, and they can make more potatoes. So we did have a few on the outside edges that had some chew marks on them. But for the most part, the castor oil really helped keep the voles out. Now, since this is down in there and it's going to sit over the winter, and I'm not really going to be able to put any more castor oil underneath here, I'm going to go ahead and put that screen as a second layer of defense. We'll see how that works. Yeah, I was glad I had that roll left over when we built the original greenhouse and I made those screen doors. I got way too much at that time. But you never know when some discarded stuff might come in handy. And I think that's about as even as we're going to get it for this test. That over. Now, your first layer, just start laying in some old logs. And the more decayed they are, the better off you're going to be. So let me go get some more logs, and while I do that, let's take a look at a couple more of our contributors. Walter wrote in to tell us how sad he is to see it go, and how grateful he is for the amount that he harvests this year out of his deep mixed mulch garden. He wants everybody to know it doesn't need to be great big, and you can still have more than you can eat. Walter, those peppers look wonderful. I know you got some kind of hot sauce up your sleeve. We look forward to your winter garden. Thank you for the inspiration. Bruce, are you going to have avocados and sweet potato for dinner? That's a pretty nice sweet potato harvest you got out of your patch there by your bananas. Thank you for sharing your food for us week after week. You've been a great inspiration to this group. I'm telling you, these contributors are wonderful. Leave a comment down below and let everybody know just how much you appreciate them sharing what's going on in their gardens. Now here, we're gonna have that as sort of gonna be a bathtub, lack of better things to call it. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna pull these sides up. So if a vole comes in here, hits it, they're not gonna climb all the way up over to get on here. This will flare out a little bit as we get going, but this gives it a nice barrier for any kind of critters that want to tunnel under. So we've got it filled with logs, and I've read a whole bunch of different recipes on how to do a Hugel mound. This is the way I'm going to do it. We're just going to layer our organic matter. It's basically the same thing as a mixed deep mulch garden, except here we're going to go ahead and put the logs down, which in theory might actually bind up the nitrogen on the first year. But we're gonna see. But on top of that, I'm gonna put a first layer of leaves, and then we're gonna put some of this wonderful composted soil on top of that, and then we're just gonna layer it up. And then a little later this fall, when I really get to raking leaves, we're just gonna cover this with leaves. We're also gonna cover that with leaves eventually. We're not gonna plant anything today because it's gonna freeze hard tonight. But then we should have a week or so of really good weather, and we'll finish these up. But this way I wanted to get them started, and I did have a bag of leaves, and I wanted to show you exactly how this experiment is going to work. We'll have a walkway between. I do have those hoops, so we may put a top on this once we plant out our winter crops. I have some cabbages, bok choy. We'll put some carrots in there. This ought to be fun. I hope you join me for that. But let's go ahead and get some leaves on here. This is going to have a lot of air down in here, and kind of why I want to do this in chapters is because this will start to flatten down a little bit. This will kind of find its own equilibrium. I'm just putting a little soil next to the screen to help hold it up. We just come back, and the soil we took out, we're just going to put back in here. I think the key, just like with the deep mulch, you don't want to pack it in too tight. You want to keep that air in there. And by doing it this time of year, we got plenty of time for it to find its own level. I think we're going to be good to go. Well, let me get these sides stood up and this other end bent down. And then this corner, just kind of bend it like a Christmas present. Then on top of that, we're going to add some wood chips, or in this case, wood shavings. Got a nice layer of this on here. And we're going to put some more of the composted soil. And then we'll come back later and we'll just cover the whole thing up with leaves. And in the spring, we'll be ready to plant. The beauty of doing this in the deep mulch garden, if I spill a little bit off to the side, more the better. I believe this is how we go about setting up a Hugel mound. We just keep layering our organics until we got a little mound. And over here, all we're gonna do is put soil back in. Just fill it back up. Oh, it's gonna take me a little while to fill this up. But we're not gonna plant anything today. Like I say, it's gonna get real cold tonight, but then it'll warm back up and we'll be back out here. I did want to set this in place and get that Hugel mound started. This is gonna be a fun experiment. If you're the kind of person that wants to grow their own food without chemicals, follow along. I did write a book that explains the life in the soil. You might want to pick that up. You wouldn't hurt my feelings. Yeah, we got a little bit more work to do here this morning. So until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.